Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Shaheen Manjezi, and today I want to give you guys a sort of answer to a common frustration that I've been hearing, and that is people saying that my present circumstances in life are just so bad that when I go to do a sort of like a SATS meditation or something like that, I just feel like I'm being delusional. And it's very difficult for me to get into that desired state of being. So today I want to address that frustration and give you guys sort of like a 4-step process that you can go through yourself to really make this easy. Because manifesting has really nothing to do with your present circumstances or your situation. You can change the course of your life at any moment, at any time, because our imagination is the causative invisible force behind our lives. So you can change your life at any moment by making a decision, by becoming clear on what it is that you want, and really aligning with that state of consciousness, really embodying that state of consciousness. And if you can embody that state of consciousness and make that your dominant state of being, then you will manifest that reality. Okay, so, and that's really what I want to talk about here today. The first point that I really want to drive home and make clear is that we manifest based off our dominant state of being. Okay, this is the state that we're in for most of our waking day. Now, we are passing through infinite states of being. From moment to moment, your state is changing, right? You're passing through infinite states. In one moment you might feel happy, in the next moment you might feel sad, the next moment you might be angry. You know, these are all feeling emotional states that we're passing through all the time. But there is a dominant state, a dominant sort of frequency, state of consciousness that you're in for most of the time, that you return to. And this is what Neville Goddard would speak a lot about in his lectures. He says, you know, although you pass through various states, you return to one state, and that's your dominant state, and that's the state that is creating your life. So, a lot of, business life coaches, for example, Tony Robbins, he knows this, like he understands this, he knows that you manifest based off your dominant state of being. That's why if you go to like his workshops or something, I've never been to his workshops, but you always hear him talking about getting into peak state and then building a dialogue with that state of being, because he understands this, even though he might not explain it in metaphysical terms. So, the first point that I want to address here is that there are infinite states of consciousness. Okay, there are infinite states of being. You do not manifest based off your present circumstances and your external reality. You manifest based off the state of being that you're in. So you do not have to focus on changing your external circumstances and what's going on around you. The first thing that you have to change is your state of being, okay? And you have access to every state of being, every state of consciousness through your imagination, right? I just said the imagination is the causative force behind everything in your life. Okay, so every solution to your problem exists in the imagination. Okay, now moving down to number 3, the important thing, the thing that you have to really get clear on is what it is that you want. What is it that you want? And we can break this down even further to get clarification on it, okay? The first thing that you have to do is identify, what is my problem right now? What is my problem? Right, so a lot of people have problems. You might be having problems finding your desired state of being because you don't even understand what your problem is, right? So maybe your problem is, I feel lonely, right? I feel lonely. I don't have an intimate partner or a relationship, or I don't have good relationships with my family. I don't have good relationships with my friends. I feel very disconnected to the world. Okay, so that's your problem. Now that you understand the problem, the next thing that you do is you imagine the reality where your problem is fixed imagine the reality where your problem is taken care of. So going to this, this example of being lonely, if I were to go into my imagination, I would imagine the reality where this problem is fixed. It's taken care of. It's gone. It's been taken care of. So what does that look like? What does that look like? What does that reality look like? Okay, it looks like me talking to my parents. I forgave all my grudges that I held towards them. I forgave my grudges that I held towards my brothers and my sisters. And we're all talking, and I call them once a week, and I have a group of really solid friends who I can be real with, who I can share my feelings with, who I can share my personal growth with, and we can be vulnerable with each other, and they have my back, I have theirs. We perform kind deeds and acts towards one another, and we have each other's backs, right? And maybe I have an intimate partner or a relationship, or I have an abundant dating life, and I'm going on dates regularly, or I have this person and I'm with them, and I'm happy, and I'm just so grateful for that, right? So now you see what we're doing is we are accessing in our imagination this reality, right? And as you place more focus and attention on it, what you'll find is there is an underlying feeling associated with that reality. Now that's the state that we're looking for. That's the state of consciousness that I'm talking about here. And what we want to do is we want to focus on that feeling and build a dialogue with it, build a relationship with it, to the point that it becomes our dominant state of being. Okay? And that is essentially, in essence, that is the process. Okay? So just a quick little review. Number one, we manifest based off our dominant state. There are infinite states of consciousness. Every solution to your problem exists right now in your imagination. Number three, the first thing that you have to do is to really understand what state of consciousness do you want. The way you do that is to identify what your problem is, what's your current problem. And then number two, imagine the reality where the problem is fixed. And ask yourself, what does that look like? Right? What does that look like? How does that feel? What we want to do after we do this is to build a dialogue with that feeling. Right? Build a dialogue with that feeling where when we're imagining the reality where our problem is fixed and taken care of, build a dialogue with the feeling. How does it feel to have our problem taken care of and have everything that we want to be fulfilled? Once we build a relationship with that feeling and we start feeling it more and more and more, we make it our dominant state of being. And once we make it our dominant state of being, what you'll find is that everything around you begins to change. How you interact with the world, how you interact with different, other people. At that point, your subconscious mind is taking care of everything, and you will feel pulled to do certain things, to go to certain places, to associate with certain people, and to not associate with other people, and that will essentially be the process, that will manifest your reality in real life. So that's really what I wanted to share with you guys in this video. And I hope you liked it. Go ahead and leave a like, a comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll be posting more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.